8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news. Edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. The National Building Research Organisation has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island. The US ambassador met the governor of the Jaffna province yesterday. Information and proposals will be gathered to establish a mechanism on disabled persons. Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar arrives in Sri Lanka. 26 injured as 2 buses collide head-on at Kottapola. In foreign news, Russia could increase Ukraine attack, says Zelensky. The National Building Research Organisation has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island. Accordingly, the warnings have been issued to the Alla Divisional Secretariat area in the Badula district. The Kandy, Kagalla and Ratnapura districts have also been issued with this warning. The Department of Irrigation says that several reservoirs in the island are overflowing due to the existing heavy rains. At present, the water capacity in all the reservoirs are at 75%. US Ambassador Julie Chang says that she is happy that the Tamil people who were badly affected by the ongoing terrorism in the northern province are now enjoying their freedom. She met the governor of the province, P.S.M. Charles, in Jaffna. She engaged in a tour of Jaffna and appreciated the government's program initiated by the president to uplift the living standards of the people in Jaffna. She also stated that the US will provide continuous support to achieve sustainable development in the country. Information and proposals will be gathered to establish a mechanism on disabled persons to engage them in society and the administrative structure of the country. The Parliamentary Forum on Disabled Persons was convened under the patronage of parliamentarian Dallas Alahapperuma. Views and proposals have been presented by the disabled persons and organizations. He also stated that operational committees should be appointed regarding such persons. This program will be implemented covering all districts in the island. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. The Global Peace Ambassador and spiritual leader Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar arrived in Sri Lanka this afternoon on a 3-day visit. State Minister of Defence Pramita Bandara Tennakon received the spiritual leader at the Bandaranayake International Airport in Katunayake upon his arrival in the island. The governor of the Eastern Province, Shenthil Tondaman, also joined the State Minister on this occasion. At least 26 persons have been injured and hospitalized following a head-on collision involving 2 private buses at the Kottapola area in the Kagalla-Avisavela main road this evening. Hospital sources said that 2 of the 26 hospitalized individuals are in critical condition. Police suspect that the accident was caused due to reckless driving by the driver of the speeding private bus travelling from Kandy to Avisavela. The Pindenia police is conducting further investigations regarding the accident. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
State Minister Pramita Bandara says that under the Ministry of Defence directives, it has announced a general amnesty from the 20th of April, allowing all army absentees to receive an official discharge from their service. The general amnesty is in effect for 1 month from the 20th of April to the 20th of May 2024. He said that more than 15,000 army personnel have come forward to obtain the amnesty. 357 officials have been removed from the service in the month of March, and 799 personnel have been reinstated to the service.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. The roof of the Pudu preschool in the Appavela area in the Anuradhapura district is about to collapse. The parents say that it is risky for their children to attend the school. This building has not been renovated for the past 50 years. They request the relevant authorities to take immediate action to renovate this building. And that came to you in Watchlight. We now take a look at world news. First, the headlines. Russia could increase Ukraine attack, says Zelensky. Flash floods kill at least 50 in Afghanistan. South Africa ends rescue efforts at collapsed George building. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia could increase its attacks in Ukraine's northeast following its recent gains near the city of Kharkiv. Russian troops have been trying to push forward as Ukraine's outgunned forces attempt to shore up a weakened front line. Mr. Zelensky admitted that there were issues with military staffing and morale, saying a number of existing brigades are empty. He also told the AFP news agency the country's air fleet was lacking and renewed calls for allies to send more air defense and fighter jets. At least 50 people have died in flash floods triggered by heavy rains in central Afghanistan, officials have said. Authorities in the Gore province say a number of others are missing as people ran to safety on higher grounds just minutes before the flood waters hit. They say the floods have also killed thousands of cattle, destroyed some 2,000 houses and damaged many more. The fresh bout of heavy rains follows widespread flooding in the northern and central areas this week. Officials say that in the provincial capital, Firozkoh, around 2,000 shops are underwater and most roads leading to it have been cut off. Authorities in South Africa have ended rescue efforts at the site of the building collapse in George, with 19 people still unaccounted for. At least 33 construction workers are confirmed to have died when the 5-story luxury apartment building collapsed on the 6th of May. But 29 survivors were pulled from the debris. The building will now be handed over to investigators to establish the cause of the accident. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, who toured the site on Thursday, pledged compensation for the victims and accountability once the investigation is concluded. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Russia could increase Ukraine attack, says Zelensky. Flash floods kill at least 50 in Afghanistan. South Africa ends rescue efforts at collapsed George building. And that ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
Tractors have been provided to 8 local government bodies in the North Central province by the Governor Mahipala Herath recently. 37 million rupees has been spent on this project. The necessary finances in this regard have been provided by the World Bank and the European Union, and that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
We now take a look at sports news. The Sri Lanka mixed relay team will leave for Bangkok tomorrow to participate in the inaugural Asian Athletics Relay Championships Paris Olympic Games qualifying meet on the 20th and 21st of May in Thailand. The Sri Lanka contingent for the inaugural Asian Athletic Relay Championships will include 23 athletes, men and women, and 5 coaches, and that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sada Harita Group, the pioneering force in Sri Lanka's commercial forestry industry, proudly announces the expansion of its global operations by exporting agarwood-based products to the United Arab Emirates. This milestone marks a strategic collaboration with Alvina Perfumes, a distinguished premium perfume brand based in the UAE. Since its inception in 2002, the Sada Harita Group has been at the forefront of revolutionizing the agarwood forestry industry in Sri Lanka, and that was business news.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all all new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news. Treasury bills valued at 160 million rupees will be issued, expiring in 91, 182 and 364 days. These bills can be purchased from primary dealers and licensed commercial banks. The central bank said that the auction will be conducted on Tuesday, and that was economic news. And finally, we take a look at the weather report.
Weather report.
Showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance during the next few days from today due to pre-monsoonal conditions over the country and surrounding sea areas. Cloudy skies can be expected over most parts of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabragamuwa, central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Mannar district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the island after 12 noon. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul, Mathura, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the southern province. And to end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The National Building Research Organization has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island. The U.S. ambassador met the governor of the Jaffna province yesterday. Information and proposals will be gathered to establish a mechanism on disabled persons. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar arrives in Sri Lanka. 26 injured as 2 buses collide head-on at Kotopola. And in foreign news, Russia could increase Ukraine attack, says Zelensky. And that ends tonight's news broadcast. The time is 3 minutes to 9 o'clock. This is Radio Sri Lanka.